Okay, this is the other side now, and this side is modified, smooth. On the front 2/3, and then the back has a granulated modified on it. Got a terracotta tile coping on this center wall, and we're walking down the center wall again, this time on the other side of the wall, and you can see the gas line comes in here and feeds this unit. There's deserted steel up here. It's doing nothing, and it has the stanchions that are roof cement and fabric secured. However, just looking at the roof, the integrity of the roof, it seems to be fair to good. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to call it good. I'm going to say it's fair to good. We get to the far back here. We have the granulated modified back here. Someone put a patch in the back with a diamond cricket to help with drainage, and looks like it's working. No ponding water back here. Looking back up the roof at the front 2/3, you can see the equipment that's on this side. There's more equipment on this side. You got a B vent for a heater here, a couple of units in ductwork, and then we come to the wall again. And back in the back here, you can see there's a pair of drains. This is the other drain in the back corner, symmetrical to the drain that's in that corner. And they both look to be sound and working the way they should be. We walk back up this outside wall now. You got dead curb here. Well, here's a vent pipe. It's right up against the wall. And that really, you have to make sure that that's not a problem. I wouldn't call that a red flag, but that's something to keep an eye on. These, you know, like, what you have here is a bunch of stuff that's just mucked together. You know, you got roof cement that's acting as your integrity in these areas, and it's really not an ideal situation. Roof cement typically cracks over time. But as long as you're quick to respond to it, it shouldn't get you in any major trouble. So you can see where I'm taking this. I think, you know, the integrity on this roof is good, and the condition is fair to good. Again, you have a lot of roof cement here also. And we're back to the center wall over here. So roof cement is ruling the day on this this roof. There's nothing really that's been done here recently that was done with an eye towards higher standards than roof cement. This is a roof cement type roof, and that's okay if it's working, and it's okay if your client or your tenant has enough forgiveness to let you slide on a couple of leaks now and then that you can respond quickly to. You know, if you have that kind of forgiveness built into your deal, then you just want to continue to nurse this roof and you know, start budgeting for replacing it within the next 5 years. You know, I think if you're judicious with attending to this quickly and without waste, it'd be worth your while to maintain what you have until you can, until you absolutely have to do the roof. Now on this side of the front, you can see the modified goes right up to the front edge, whereas it doesn't on that first side we looked at. And again, we have the conduit going right down the front, within 5 feet of the front wall. So that's the kind of stuff that you have to just keep an eye on. So as far as red flags on this this second area, I really don't see anything that's screaming for attention right now. There's plenty to shake a stick at as far as, you know, if you really wanted to keep your standards to the very highest possible level. But given what's in place here and the situation that you have, you probably want to leave it at this level of standard and just continue to keep it secure the way it is. You know, I think that's what I would do. I'm not sure I would replace this. So that's what you got. If you do replace it, you're looking at a complete tear-off, because we did plug this roof and we found 3 inches of roofing on here, which is completely at the limit. You have 3 or 4 roofs on here now and you have 3 inches. So that's definitely exceeding code. You know, you're going to have to tear this all off. One more thing, I'm not sure I mentioned this, just kind of escaped me, but you have a collapsed light here. This is on the first section again. And again, you have the electric coming right through the roof without any kind of separation system like a pitch pocket or something that allows it to be secured. And you know, your stanchion or your conduit just fell right over and hit the roof. So you got a little bit of a scar on the roof right there, but it didn't penetrate it. It's just not a good situation, obviously. So on this front roof we have at least 3 red flags. On this roof closest to ShopRite, we have 3, possibly 4 with that raised curb. And on the second section, there's really nothing that needs immediate attention. You know, you're just going to want to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't turn into a problem. You know what you could do? You could, on this second section here, you could cover this with modified. This area here, you can see how it's all cracked up. You can see the roof is starting to just alligator and crack. You know, it would make sense. Over here you have the modified, and then it goes back to the old hot roof, and then that extends right up to the old wall that goes right up against ShopRite. So we make this a red flag on this roof. You've got 3 over here with the wall, the drain, the light, and possibly the raised curb. Where am I here? There we go. It's hard to see this screen in the sunlight. And then on this roof, you could make this the 4th red flag. Just cover this old hot roof with modified right up to the blue wall there. That would be the minimum you should do if you're getting ready to host a you know, long-term tenant that's trying to you know, stay leak-free. And then if you did all those 4 things and just were quick with response to any other problems, you should be okay. You know, then the only problem with that, Herb, is they're going to have to suffer through a re-roof within 5 years. And that means you're going to have somebody tear this off and keep it tight while they're, you know, established inside and they have all their goods in place, and then the forgiveness is 0. You can't have a big leak in the middle of a tear-off. So that's the only downside to that thinking. You're going to gain at least, I'm going to guess, 3 years if you do that. But the downside, you know, if you just repair the 4 areas we talked about and maintained it, you're going to gain probably 3 years. But if you do that, you're going to have to tear this off while there's a tenant in there. And it's always easier to tear off when no one's in there. So that's the story from the Willingboro Shopping Center.